Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is it's just after 7 a.m. here in the Mountain Time Zone, and we are going to do a little car mechanic simulator today, similar to what we did yesterday here in the stream. We're going to do an auction because we're still looking at getting our getting our cash up. Um, we've got almost 300,000 in the bank, um, almost 17,000 XP points, and no cheats, just through a lot of hard work. Um, we've put about, I don't know, 30 hours or so in the game um, up to this point, and so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So we're headed off to the auction. Um, Before I go to the auction, there was an update released yesterday, and it looks like we've got. Oh, it looks like we got an update on the parking. Upgrade parking garage with parking for 50,000. Okay, I don't need to do that just yet. Um, but it looks like we got two additional parking slots in the release yesterday, or maybe the release was on Friday night. But in any event, there was an update to the game, and it hit my game yesterday. But I didn't check it out. But this is what it is. They added the two extra parking slots. So you have to buy those. Looks like 50,000 a piece. Um, and so, but I don't need that just yet. So we will just kind of leave that alone. So can we get some coffee? Boy, I could sure use some. Actually, I'm drinking a cup of coffee right now. So, okay, so let's go to the auction center and see what we can find. Yesterday we had very good luck with auctions. Um, our first auction was first auction gave us about 30,000. Let's see, our first auction gave us a $42,000 profit. Our second auction, a $38,000 profit. Now here we go. I've been wanting to do a Mustang, um, so let's see. Let's see what we can get this Mustang for, if we can at all. Overall state is, only 2 stars. It's ours. Okay, so I need to write some figures down because I like to keep track of how much we pay. So the starting bid was 9,223. The price at auction was 20,723. Okay, so we'll go ahead and send that to our garage. We're going to quit and go back to our garage and work on this one car. So I need to record. I need to write down how much cash I have. Um, write down how much cash I have. Let me make sure I don't have any spare parts. Okay, just got the one bushing. We'll keep that. So I've got 259,346 cash in the bank. The reason why I write that number down is because, in my opinion, a bit of a shortfall with this game. So if I pull up the screen here, this hitting O on the keyboard, this tells me what my current value of the car is, which is 18,351. So I could sell this right now with a $2,000 loss. But of course, we're not going to do that because this game's not about losing money, it's about making money. But in my opinion, this screen or a screen like it should be available so that I realized I didn't turn my audio mixer on. So anyway, this screen or a screen just like it should be available so that one can see how much they bought the car at auction, how much in dollars they spent on parts, etc., to restore the car. That's not available, or at least I have not been able to find that those statistics. So if you're only going to do one car at a time, so that nothing gets construed with your dollar, with your money, then if you write this number down to 259,346, then essentially at the end, when you get ready to sell the car, if you're gonna sell it immediately, then you'll know how much money you've taken out in parts, and maybe how much you made back selling old parts if you do that, and then that way it'll give you some of that information. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously, while we have it here in the middle of the room, is we're just going to pop off these body parts that we can get to. You know, some parts can be removed if they're there. You know, looks like there was no bumper, no tail light there. Oops, sorry about that. So we'll pull the right door off, we'll pull the right fender off, head back up to the front of the car, just take a look. We can pull that headlight off, and that's our stripped down car. So I forgot to do something. Forgot to take a picture of it for my blog. So we'll take a picture of it, and that way I'll do a write-up on it. Like I said, I've been wanting to do a Ford Mustang for ever since I got this DLC, actually. A little personal story. A friend of mine, when I was in high school, and I graduated in the mid-1980s, 1985 to be exact, he and his father restored a 60-something Ford Mustang very similar to this, and me and my father did a 1964 step-side Chevy pickup. So I would love for this Chevy pickup to be featured in this game at some point in time. So the way I like to play auction is basically restore the car to 100%. So I suppose there's, you know, you could do different things. You could do whatever you want to do as far as you know, how you want to try to make money in this game. You know, obviously it's going to cost more up front to put all, you know, either put all brand new parts on it, or at least try to repair parts. And that's what we're obviously going to try to do first, to try to repair parts first, to see if we're successful with that before we reassemble everything, and then we will buy any parts that are not up to 100% spec. So, you know, but again, it all sort of depends on how you envision, you know, how you want to make your money in this game. So So we try to avoid. Oh, this has got a two carburetor, two 4-barrel carburetors. This is the um, first one like this I've done. I try to avoid having to unnecessarily um, lift and lower the car. So I usually start on top and work my way down. And at some point we'll have to lift the car in a few minutes, obviously, to pull the all the running gear and everything. Um, and obviously we'll need to drain the oil, drop the oil pan, get to the crankshaft, and we'll have to raise it again to pull the pistons, and then or sorry, lower it again to pull the pistons, and then raise it again to pull the crankshaft. So um, this is I believe this is my sixth auction purchase and rebuild, if we're keeping track of anything. So this is a bit, this is the somewhat time-consuming piece of it, is the disassembly. Um, I guess it depends really on what you enjoy about a game like this. To me, it's all work that's got to be done. So, um, you know, I know some people prefer the the landings in Flight Simulator. Some people prefer the takeoff. To me, it's all the experience. It's everything that um, everything you have to take off to be able to fly, to be able to land. So um, it's all a complete thing. If anyone has any questions about this game, feel free to ask them in the chat. This is one game that I stream, that I'm able to actually do a fairly good job of keeping my eye on the chat. It's hard to do in, like, say, Truck Simulator and such, because I run chat on my gaming machine has 3 monitors, and I run most all games on just one monitor. Pretty much run all games on just one monitor, and so I have another. The screen to my right is set up with the Twitch page, and I can see the dashboard, and I can see the chat room. So we're not a sophisticated streamer. We don't have mods, moderators, and um, all that kind of stuff. So we don't have enough followers yet. Um, it appears that I've just started streaming, and that is the case with this screen name. But I have streamed under another screen name, actually quite for a while. Had quite a few followers, if you want to call them that, um, when I did exclusively flight simulation. And I streamed under the name Flight Sim JT. So I wanted to funny story. I got I was for years I've only done flight simulation. Okay. Um, and and so about a year or so ago, this was after I had started streaming for flight simulation stuff. I started traveling a lot for work. Um, and flight simulation for me, it's something I've been involved in that hobby for such a long time, and I have amassed quite a large collection of external hardware. I've got a lot of the GoFlight hardware. Um, I can pretty much, if I'm flying a Boeing, which is my favorite aircraft, so either the 737 or the 777, or even those both by PMDG, by the way. If I'm flying the Quality Wing 757 as well, the Level D 767 doesn't work well in P3D. But if I'm flying one of the Boeings that I just mentioned, I almost rarely have to do anything with the mouse, um, and certainly almost nothing with the keyboard. I've got the MCP. I can control all the autopilot functions. I've got a radio stack. Um, so, long story short, the point I'm trying to make here is that I find it extremely hard to fly Flight Simulator um, without the use of my external hardware. So, a couple of years ago, I had to travel a lot for work, and when I say a lot, I mean I was away I was away for um, some weeks. I was away for full five days of the week. We'll go ahead and pull the drive shaft, and then we'll go and pull the oil. Um, and so I'm the type of guy, and it wasn't like I was actually traveling. I was actually working. I work in IT, so a lot of what I was doing in the office was a lot of similar to the same work that I do here at my job. So it's not like I was traveling with other people, and after work we could go out and go to dinner and do things like that. I was basically there by myself, um, running projects or filling in for other people or what have you. And so, because once you get off work and you go back to the hotel, what's there to do? Okay, well, there's watch hotel TV. Um, to be quite honest, I don't I don't watch that much TV here at home. So the point is that I was looking for games, something that I could play, because again, I find it hard to fly Flight Simulator without all of my external hardware. So it's sort of because I've been doing it for so long. It's just it feels funny. It just feels odd, and it feels like something that's not fun to me. So I don't do it. Okay. Um, so I I had a so what I my decision was invest in a invest in a gaming laptop, something that obviously I could carry with me, and I could sorry, I could fly or I could play certain games like Steam-based games, for example, um, while I was traveling. Okay, because again, you know, hotel television, not a big TV fan anyway, and just really wanted to pass some time. So bought this gaming laptop, and again, not with the intention of it for flight sim, because just not going to go there. And so, all right, so the rear end's done. So started looking into Steam games that I could play in the hotel. So because I had been streaming Flight Sim, I sort of knew some of the streamers that 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 fly. Uh, we'll see if that will get me close enough. There we go. So I knew some of the streamers who flew and played other games. So I was seeing games like Farming Simulator, like Euro Truck Simulator, etc. So and I'll be honest with you, I was a lot, people have a little bit of there's mixed reaction with some gamers when they see people like myself or any of the other successful Twitch streamers playing a game like Farming Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator or the new American Truck Simulator. And these are guys and gals who now we've got to lower the car so we can go after the pistons. Got to pull the pistons out, and then we can get to the crankshaft. Um, they see us playing these games, and their idea of a game is first person shooters or Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that. And they see someone driving a tractor, pulling a plow, or a seeder, or running a combine, or driving a truck through Europe or a truck through California or whatever, and they view that as odd. Um, and I'm sure many of these same individuals would see this stream and go, ugh, what are you doing? So, but that's what I enjoy. That's the type of gaming that I personally enjoy. Um, pull the crankshaft out, and now we need to lower it one more time to pull the block out. But those are the games that I enjoy. Okay. So anyway, bought this laptop and started playing these games from the hotel. Like I said, I was there for, I traveled. I traveled for much of 2014, and I would say even half or maybe three quarters of 2015. I was traveling at 60, 70%, 75% of the time. I was gone like all the time. And so playing these games like Farming Simulator, Euro Truck, etc., was something that allowed me to pass the time when I was on the road and have good fun doing it. Of course, I didn't stream from the hotel from that gaming machine because I use um, a multi PC setup to stream, and so that obviously wouldn't work. But that's what I did. That's what I enjoy, and that's what you'll see on my channel. So that's why I converted my Twitch account from my old ID to Grizzly Bear Sims, because I'm also blogging about the games that I'm playing and the news that are around those games. So if you go to grizzlybearsims.com, that's my blog site, and I actively write about the games that I play and the news about those games and mods that I'm using and all that good stuff. So go there, check that out. All right, so we're going to come over to the repair table and we're going to try to repair most of the items that we've pulled from the car, and hopefully some of the high ticket, high dollar items, like maybe the engine block, cylinder heads, the um, those items, gearbox, those items will be repairable to 100%. So if you're new to this game and you haven't done the auction seen just yet. I would suggest that obviously you're going to have to do customer paying jobs. You're going to have to answer the phone over there by that desk quite a bit of time to earn your XP and earn some money, because you're not going to be able to do things until you have those. You can't go to the auction until you have enough cash to open up the garage and to obviously go buy something and then afford the parts that it's going to take to repair it. The banking mechanism in this is not that ideal. I wish that I wish the banking mechanism in this game was similar to that of, say, Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator, where you could get a bigger loan. $2,000. What can you do with $2,000? A garage of this size, I don't think $2,000 would do my, probably wouldn't pay for the oil that a garage of this size would use within a week or something like that. So in any event, you need to save up your money. You need to earn your XP. Then you come over to the toolbox and you want to max out every single one of these repair tools as best as you can. You need to open these things up, because when you come over to your repair table and you go through repairing these items, if you have the maximum amount of repair skills there that you accrue or that you earn by buying them through your XP points, then you click on these items and you're able to repair some of them, not all of them. Some things just can't be repaired, you know, things like spark plug wires, spark plugs, pistons, your rubber bushings. And so our hope is that we're able to repair at least enough of the high dollar items that when we go to put this thing back together, it's not a money pit. Okay, so it kind of looks like a money pit, but we will see. Okay, so here we go. Engine block, V8 overhead valves, condition 100%. So again, what we're doing with this rebuild, with this auction purchase, is putting this car back together at 100% condition, so that we can sell it for the max amount of money. I mean, this is a classic Ford Mustang. We want to make this thing beautiful. Okay, so so that's good that the engine block was 100% repaired. So kind of reverse order of everything. We've put the engine block in. We need to lift the car, and we need to start working. We need to put the crankshaft in, and hopefully the crankshaft will also be, and it's not. So here's where we have to go to the store and start buying things, because we're hoping that you know, things are go ahead and put our caps in, and some of these pieces get in the way just a little bit, so we'll come down here at this angle. And you know, it's not going to be, you're going to have to, there's going to be some parts that you will that you're always going to have to buy. Like I said, spark plugs, pistons, your air filter, your fuel filter, your oil filter. These are things that that cannot be repaired to 100%. So we have to replace them. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower the car again. I know we could work on the suspension and everything, put the brakes and all that stuff on, but let's just go back to pull up our tablet and get some of the things that we know we're going to need. So we're going to need some spark plugs. We're going to need 8 of them. We're going to need some pistons. We are going to need let's see. We're going to need a clutch pressure plate and a throwout bearing at least. The clutch plate might be restorable. Um, we're gonna need an oil filter. Should be that one. And let's just go from there. There'll be a few other things that we will obviously have to buy, but we'll do that when we get to that point. Okay. So we're gonna just start putting our pistons in. And you can, I mean, there's no, well, some things have to be obviously reassembled in a particular order. Um, but you could bounce over and start working on your all your running gear and everything. Um, okay, so engine head's 100%, so that's good. That helps. Exhaust manifold 100%. So as I said just a few minutes ago, I enjoy simulation-based games. Now there there is a pet peeve with me, and I'm not gonna, well, I'm almost 50 years old, um, so so there. But some of these game developers use the term simulation to describe their games when sometimes it's a bit of a stretch that the game is even a simulation-based game. In my mind, in my opinion, oh, we need push rods. Um, 16 of these bad boys. In my mind, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, flight simulator, and that could be P3D, FSX, FS9, X-Plane, um, that genre of software. That is your oh, we're going to need rocker arms as well. Forgot about those. So your pistons, your push rods, your rocker arms, those can't be repaired. I wish this game had a better cart, because obviously, you know, the uh, the internet mechanism there. It's like as if well, it's a tablet, so it's an XP that you can earn to keep you from having to walk all the way across the room, because that obviously would be time consuming when you're trying to do this kind of stuff and you forget to order a rocker arm just after you ordered pistons. But there should be like a real life cart mechanism where you add something to the cart and then you can go in and you can say, I need 16 of these, or I need 8 of them, or I need 4 of them, or I need 1 of them, instead of having to click with the mouse 16 times to order or to purchase 16 push rods. So hopefully those are things that the game developers are thinking about for the game, because again, going back to game developers using the word simulation to describe their games, sometimes, not all the time, and I'm not saying that that's the case with this game. If this was a lame simulation game, I wouldn't be playing it. I would have played it once or twice and said, okay, that's all I need, and I'm done. I've got over 30 hours in this game, and I actually only started this game a week and a half ago. Okay, I had this on on my wish list, on my Steam wish list for a while. It went on sale, and when I got the notice that it went on sale and I was able to buy it for like $7 or $9 or something like that, I'm like, okay, well, I'll give this a try. I've seen people playing this before, and it looks okay. It looks kind of fun, and it sort of ties in with a time of my life. Quite a long time ago, I used to work in an auto parts store, and knew almost nothing about mechanics and parts and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I knew I could change the oil and stuff like that, but learned a lot while I worked there, and had a lot of fun. So round air filter base 2 carb. So again, some of these things will clean up and get restored to 100%. Some will not. Brake servo. This is the first time I've had to buy a brake servo. If I could spell, or if I could type. First time that I've had to buy a brake servo. Most of those have always cleaned up 100%. So, but that's also a good thing, because that means that each camshaft, that each time that you do this, it's almost a different experience. Because if it was always the same parts that had to be replaced, then it would get old pretty fast, wouldn't it? Yeah. Answer to that question is yes. Okay, let's. Now, oddly enough, um, from the way I remember things, that the mechanics would come into the parts store, and if they were going to do if they were going to do, what's this one? If they were going to do a rebuild like this, they pretty much were. I got to get to this clip. They would pretty much buy um, a brand new distributor cap and rotor, as well as spark plug wires, that sort of stuff. That would be almost a requirement. They wouldn't, like the distributor cap, for example, was able to be repaired to 100%. I mean, I'm guessing that's sort of illustrating remanufactured parts, but most of the mechanic shops that I knew of when I was working in this industry, and I haven't done that for 25, almost 30 years, didn't do that level of detail in-house. So we'll just kind of stay here under the hood of this car and put together some of the things that we can before we lift it back up, and we'll need a timing chain. And you'll soon learn which parts you have to buy. That did not clean up. Normally the timing cover does. Timing cover, V8 overhead. You'll soon learn which parts, like the pistons, the spark plugs, the spark plug wires, don't, the filters and stuff don't clean up to 100%. Water pump. Should be that one, and I think I'm going to need a water pump pulley, because that is also yep. crankshaft pulley. I wish that I wish they incorporated hoses into this game. Okay, serpentine belt V8 overhead. Should be that one. Should be that one. Now, if I understand correctly, there is a future release or a future update to this game that I learned about yesterday when I was reading about everything that was put in for the update that was released just yesterday. That there is going to be an expert mode. And from what I understand, the expert mode, most of these tips or these hints that when you hover over something and it says power steering pump V8, I think that those are going to, you can turn those off in expert mode. So that will kind of be cool because, you know, after you've put in 20, 30 hours into this game, and especially if you have any knowledge whatsoever of, we're going to need a battery, then being able to turn that off will be pretty cool, because, you know, you should be able to, I'm guessing somewhere or another it would tell you that it's a, you know, V8, or you would know that, and then you'd know what parts to buy. The only potential problem that I see with that is I have seen on occasion where, and obviously it wasn't in this example, but I've seen on occasion where something, you know, obviously you're dealing with a V8 overhead valve engine, but I have seen where the part for something or another to replace something is, even though there is a V8 overhead valve part available for it, what's on there is not that. So that obviously is a little bit weird. All right, I think we've done everything under the hood that we can do for right now, so we need to go ahead and lift the car, put the oil pan on, oil filter, and then we can start on the suspension and the rest of all the fun that's got to go into this, hopefully into this project, profit project, and not a money pit. And I think we already bought our oil filter. Yep, so we'll go ahead and put that on. So pretty much the engine is complete. We'll need to put some oil in it later. So now we will just start with the suspension and everything. So we're going to need a bunch of rubber bushings. We'll start with that many for now. And then just go from there. So again, hopefully a lot of these things, we're going to need some ties. We're going to need 2 inner tie rods, 2 outer tie rods, because those can't be repaired. Some of these things you're going to find that, you know, obviously worst case scenario is you got to buy, you know, both of them too. You know, if it's something like a knuckle, steering knuckle or whatever, you got to buy 2 of them. Sometimes, you know, you can hope for a double wishbone shock. You can hope for that, you know, 50%. So in other words, one will be repairable to 100%, the other one will not be. But like your tie rods, those will never repair to 100%. Those have to be replaced each and every time. And of course, when you're doing front springs, also same way. Um, and I think um, the front caps also never get repaired. Of course, I'm going to be, yep. And the thing about it is, front sway bar, you will learn. Um, you will learn as you go through this, especially when you do the auction stuff, because when you do the auction, especially if you're going to, that's sway bar front end link B, if you're going to do it to try to repair it to 100%, then obviously you're tearing the car down. You're taking every single part off the car that is potentially able to be taken off of it, and um, so we'll do that for now. Calipers in most cases will get repaired to 100%. We'll need roll hub caps. Two of those. That's everything for that side. And we will just ease over here. But again, if you do the auction thing, because you're having to tear the car down, bottom suspension arm, we need one of those. You're going to soon learn what can't be replaced and what can. And then you just have to sort of play it the way I'm playing it. Whereas when you discover that something is not repairable to 100%, then you just have to buy it new. Now, of course, there's as you do these, as you do something I was thinking about last night. So as you do customer jobs, I suppose you could front wheel hub. You could save up the parts that you're pulling off of customer cars that you can repair to 100%, and then use those for your build. So for example, if you have a situation where, and I ran into this last night in a customer repair job that I was doing, the engine block was bad, and so I pulled it off. I had to basically pull everything, tear the engine down 100%, just like we did with this car. But if I had replaced it, and again, this is a customer job, not an auction. If I had replaced it with new, I believe if I understand the game and how the game is set up, obviously that amount of money would be charged to the customer. If that engine block was repairable to 100%, I could have kept that in my inventory, and then if I'm working on a car like this where I need a V8 block and I've got it, but the one that I pulled off of it was not repairable to 100%, then that would be a cost that obviously I would save. So don't know, but I've been very successful. I will be honest. I mean, the first auction that I attended or that I went to and purchased a car from, I lost my rear end on it, front exhaust pipe. So we'll go ahead and work our way back now. Middle mufflers. I thought so. Middle mufflers. Where are my middle mufflers? And the thing about it is I bought that car for the right amount of money. It's just that everything in it was couldn't be repaired. Almost everything in it couldn't be repaired. Rear muffler V8. Can we go ahead and put the drive shaft in? Yeah, let's go ahead and get the drive shaft in. That way we're try to keep from bouncing around from the front of the car to the back of the car to the front of the car, lifting the car up. And these are all things that, as you play the game, small rubber bushings, we're going to need two more of those. I only bought two, I believe. Um, that you're gonna learn. Rear shock absorber B. Another thing about simulation-based games, rear axle knuckle housing, is was that B? Yeah. Um, is that they need to teach you something. Um, and this one does. I mean, if you pay attention, we're gonna. Oh, the brake shoes were repaired to 100%. Good, good. But brake drums were not. Not a problem. Not a problem. But anyway, it should teach you something. And while I'm not the type of person that says that I could land an airplane if I'm flying on a 737 because that's my favorite Boeing aircraft, and the flight attendant comes up to me and says, pilots have been sick because they both ate the same meal like a stupid, and can anybody land this plane? I'm not going to raise my hand. I mean, maybe if I'm the only person on the plane, certainly I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna try. Certainly, yeah. I'm not gonna die unnecessarily, but I don't have that sort of ego that some flight simmers have. That I could do that. I don't know if I could do it. It's a situation where you it's a life or death situation. There's other people on the plane. You've got their lives in your hands. It's all those kind of things. And so, but what I am saying about, say for example, the flight simulation hobby, solid rear drive axle, is that if you participate enough, if you fly enough, and whether that be the Cessnas, Piper Cub, 737, whatever the case may be, if you do it long enough, you're going to learn things. You may not actually be able to land a 737 safely and all that kind of stuff, but you are going to learn things. And by the way, I saved the wheels, rims and wheels for last. Just making sure I have everything back on this rear end here, and I believe that we do. So what we need to do now is we need to drop it. And I just need to collect my thoughts here for just a moment. Actually, I guess we could have went ahead and put the wheels on it beforehand. I thought there was one more thing that we needed to do under the hood, but I think that we got it. So, but while we're here, we'll just go ahead and put some oil in it. We are, let's just, oh, wheel hub cap. Well, we missed one of those somewhere. Let's go chase that down. That's what I get for that's what I get for talking. Yep, right there. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so let's go ahead and look at rims for this thing. Noob 14, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, sitting here talking on the stream and not paying attention. Missed that one tiny part. At least it was something relatively easy like that. So a couple of different things that we could do. I mean, we haven't, the engine block was 100% repairable. Crankcase. I mean, we haven't had to spend a whole lot of money on this. Actually, we've had to spend about $8,000. We started after we bought this car. We had 259,000 in our bank. Now we're at 251,000. So roughly $8,000 that we've had to spend on the car. We paid 20,000 for this Ford Mustang. So I'm hoping that we will be able to recoup our make some profit off this. So maybe we put something nice on it. I mean, because the other choice is these basic, classics and basics and such. And these are, the most expensive rims are, 200 bucks. They're in the 100 to 200 or $300 price range. But then we also, this DLC, we've got these rims here that are available. So Rim Retro 10 paint. I'm assuming that the black section there is paintable to whatever color we go with. Let's throw those on there and see what happens. So we'll need 4 of those. And of course, we could have actually put the rims that came on the car because those were all repairable up to 100%. But we've made our purchase, so we will stick with it. That's our story, and we're sticking with it. Oops. I haven't decided what color I'm going to paint this yet. I'll tell you, my friend's, he painted his, restored it back to the factory color. It was a green something or another. That was sort of the things to do back then. Was restore old cars. Of course, back in the 80s when we were doing this, his was a 60, I think his was a 63 or maybe a 65. Mine was a 64 Chevy step-side pickup. And so, obviously they were old, but they weren't that old. All right, so let's put some oil in this car, in this engine. Up. Why? Alright, cha-ching, cha-ching. Now, of course, you don't have to do this, but because we're obviously If in real life, if we were to have just overhauled this engine and you put your however many quarts of oil it takes, you're going to pull the dipstick and make sure that everything is right. So our oil is right smack dab in the middle between max and minimum. It looks clean, so we will go with that. All right, so let's see how we are on our checklist. We're good to go. So we've replaced all parts to 100%. We've pulled all the body panels and everything off. We did that before we put the car on the rack. So now we have all these other bits and pieces of rust. Now, I will tell you that my very first auction, the one that I was a money pit, I lost so much money on, I did not know that, because obviously I knew that you could pull these body panels off. I knew you could pull them off and you could repair them maybe, and you could replace them. What I did not know was that you could also resolve these other issues, these rust issues. So because I didn't know that with the first auction that I did, I replaced all the body panels, but then I had all this rust here and there and everywhere. And when I repainted it, that stuff was still obviously still there. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information available to you in the game as far as what you do to fix some of these things. So when I realized that that was the case, and I had watched some YouTube videos, and I realized that some of these guys were able to do that, although I did not know how they did it, I did some Googling and figured out that what you do is you come over to this green acetylene tank, and if you right click on it, it'll pull up your inventory of cars that you have. And because I only have one car in my inventory, you click on that and it will say, do you want to repair car's body frame for $1,700? Well, obviously we have to, because it looks terrible. So we say yes. We can turn around, and then all this rust, all the chrome trim is all nice and pretty. I mean, look at that. That is sweet. So now all we have to do is we just need to move the car over to the center there, and we will start putting our body panels back on it. And hopefully some of those pieces were missing, so we know that we will have to buy some of them, but hopefully some of them were able to be repaired. So like that one was 100%. So we need to Salem Spectre Fastback. So we pull up our catalog here, body parts shop. So it was a Salem Spectre, I believe. Yep, so we will do this, Salem, S-P-E-C-T-R-E. Narrow it down just a little bit. All right, because that way we won't order the incorrect parts. So we need a front right door, and again the expert piece that's due next. It will be a update that'll be made to the game. It'll have what's called expert mode, and from the description that I read, these little tips like here that says front right door, that won't be available if you go expert mode. From what I understand though, is in order to take advantage of expert mode, you have to start all over. So you're going to have to start over with 0 XP and 0 money, or however much money that they give you at the start of the game, $2,000 I think. But according to their Facebook page, and I'm talking about the developer's Facebook page, they have been talking about the option, the opportunity at least, that we would have the ability to transfer our account balance and our experience over to that new profile. So I suppose what you could do is you back up your profile like you always do anyway, and you can try the expert mode. If you don't like the expert mode, then you can always go back, restore your profile and go back. So front right door, let's get this thing done. Front right door, front right door. Oops. What did we just do? We just bought something that we're... Oh, it's a fastback. Ugh. Duh. Okay. Um, Let me do this. Salem. All right. Front right door. Darn it. I was really trying to avoid unnecessarily buying parts, but oh well. Um, so most of this stuff was able to be repaired at 100%. That's nice because we just made a boo-boo, obviously. Um, and I guess something else that I don't like about this game that that differs from a real world situation is that in the real world, and this is going back on experience from when I worked in the automotive parts industry. So this has been over 30 years. It was sort of a college job that I did. Worked in an auto parts store, a fairly big auto parts store down in the South for about 4, almost 5 years. But if this situation happened, if you ordered a part from the parts store and it was the wrong one, even if it was your mistake, if you were a big shop, that parts store would take that part back at 100%. I mean, yeah, there might be some special order things that I guess you would have a restocking fee, and maybe that's what they're kind of doing here. Whenever you buy a part, and if you want to sell it, you're going to take a loss on it. But um, I just don't know if it's quite that big of a loss that what this game is representing. But anyway, if again it goes back to paying attention. Pay attention. So we need a right tail light. We're almost done. Rear bumper. Yeah, this car didn't come with some of these parts, and so there we go. So this is the finished deal without a paint job, obviously. So let's just double check here. So we can just kind of quickly look at. So the body panels cost us a little bit there. But our car value as it currently stands is 71,570. So we are going to make a profit off of this. I'll tell you just how much in just a few minutes, and then let's go ahead and decide how we want to paint this thing up. Now, here's what I wish the game offered when you stepped into the paint booth is, and again, I've only been playing this for about a week and a half. Um, and no cheats. Just this has been the game. I was playing American Truck Simulator quite a bit, and almost getting to the point to where that I've been everywhere, done everything within Arizona and California. I installed the coast to coast map. I did a trip out to Boston and back. Kind of looking forward to when they release Arizona, and maybe some more trucks and stuff like that. But in any event, when this game came on sale, I bought it. So I've got about a week and a half experience with it. Um, so that's. But anyway, I wish that when you stepped into the paint booth, I wish that there was a way that maybe through some, you know, maybe a catalog, kind of like we have the internet, where you can search different things, but you could pull up a list of factory colors. So obviously the factory color for this car, which is Ford Mustang, is this. Well, I don't want to restore it to that. So yellow maybe. Okay, well, let's see. But it would be nice. It would be nice if that. Um, Now, actually, my friend's Mustang that he did was a greenish color, not a frog green or not a bright green, but so yellow. So yellow. But anyway, it would be nice if there were like some kind of, and I know it would take more programming on the part of the developers, but they could offer this as DLC maybe, so that they could recoup some of their money off of it, and you could go through a selection process and say, you know, of the Ford Mustangs, and of course this is not called a Ford Mustang due to licensing, but of the Ford Mustangs that were produced in the years that this is supposed to represent, these are the factory colors, and you could select them and it would automatically set the hue, the saturation, and the brightness and everything, because um, so that's about as close to yellow as I think I can get it. And obviously I wish there was a sort of a try before you buy, um, but I will tell you that it does not affect the profit or loss on this. As a matter of fact, 71,000 I think was what the estimate was. It's not going to change that number very much at all. So all right, let's see. Well, yellow was what was suggested in the chat room. Let's paint it. And see, that's not bad. Not bad. So back to the garage. And here is our car. That's a beauty. That is a beauty. I thought the because it said paintable on these rims, I thought that black there would maybe be yellow, but that's okay. Yeah, that goes. You know, this is kind of a yellow jacket bumblebee kind of thing, um, I suppose. So let's take a picture of it because we'll put this on our blog post, on our blog site here later this week. If you want to look at my blog site, I blog about the simulation games that I play: Flight Sim, Farming Sim, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, now Car Simulator, Farming Simulator. I think I already said that. If you go to grizzlybearsims.com, take a look at my blog site. Also, I appreciate all of you guys that's been watching. If you like what you've been seeing, please subscribe, or I'm sorry, follow. We don't do subscriptions or anything like that. I'm absolutely not looking at making money on my streaming efforts. I have nothing against those that do, but where I am in my life, I am counting the years to my retirement, and I don't plan on quitting my day job and becoming a full-time streamer and all of that stuff. So I am trying to retire and get out of corporate America as quick as I can, and the best way for me to do that is to just ride out the next 10 years or so, 12 years, and be done. So here's our finished product. We will go through the profit and loss here in just a moment, and you can see how much we have made. All right, let me just do this, take a screenshot of that. Okay, so the starting bid for this car was $9,223. 242,655 is what we've got in the bank. So we need to do some math because they don't give us this information for us. So we had $259,346 in our bank account before we started buying parts. We've now got 242,655. So we've spent 16,691 on parts. And of course, we bought a door that we didn't need, but that's because it wasn't paying attention. So now what we're going to do is we're going to quickly sell off the parts that we can sell. We're going to sell our junk. We're going to sell our junk for $74. And then we are going to quickly sell off all these spare parts. Sorry about your ears if you're wearing headsets. I'll keep those bearings. I'm going to go ahead and sell that door and take a loss on it. Um, Now we've got so 242,655 from 245,785 is we made $3,130 on sale of parts. So if we look at, we add everything together, we've got, we paid $20,723 for the car at auction. We spent $16,691 on parts. We got back $3,130 on selling scrap and old parts and stuff that we screwed up on. So that brings us to $34,284, and we're going to sell this beautiful creature for $71,000. So 71,570, 34,284 is a profit of $37,286. Profit. That's why we do this, is to make money. So there you are. Let's sell the car because there's no reason keeping it. And bada bing. And we've just passed 317,000 dollars in our bank account. So, you know, there are other things that I think that could be cool about the game. For example, I think that, you know, kind of once you reach a point to where you've got some nice cash in the bank, of course I could redo my garage, but maybe that's something that I will do soon now that I've got some more experience points built up. You can go over here to the ladder. You can click on the ladder and you can customize different aspects of the garage, but I've just really not had a need to do that because I've been trying to just make money and spend my XP points on the important stuff. And I do need to do this. I need to come over here at some point and get these examination tools, and I'll do that very soon. But in any event, I wish that there was maybe a mechanism within the game that when you restored a car like this, that, you know, you'd see what the value of that car was today. So in our case, you know, 71,000 or whatever it was. And maybe, you know, you'd take a risk and you would put that car in your garage and hold on to it in the hopes that maybe that value would go up tomorrow, but then there's a gamble that that value would go down, because those are the kind of things I think that you would experience in the real world. I mean, a car like that today may be worth 71,000. Tomorrow it might be worth 75,000. So I think there's some opportunities, and again, I've only got a week and a half in this game, but I think I've played it hard enough and well enough that, and no cheats, I've not done anything to cheat, that it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap the stream up now, and I've been streaming since about 7. I appreciate you all for watching, and good recommendation, Noob, on the color there. I think that looked great. I don't think I would have ever thought of painting that car yellow, but I liked the look of it. And yeah, we did do good. We did do good on that, even though we screwed up and bought the wrong door because I wasn't paying close enough attention that there was 2 different models of that car. Makes sense because there certainly were with the Mustang. But hopefully this game will get some more DLC. I know people have opinions about DLC, and I think there's a lot of DLC abuse. I'll call it that in this industry, in the gaming industry. A good example of that, and I do play this game. I don't play it very much, but Train Simulator is probably the example of maybe DLC abuse. Of course, they're not forcing us to buy the DLC, but if you go out to the Steam site and look at Train Simulator, I think every piece of DLC that they've produced, if you were to buy all of that, would cost you over $5,000, $6,000. Um, Most of their DLC is in the 9, 10, 1999 range or so. If you really are into trains, if you're really into it, like for example, I've bought some of the locomotives that I see here in the U.S. around Colorado, like the Santa Fe, the Union Pacific stuff. I've bought those things because I enjoy those types of trains, those freight trains. But the other end of that spectrum is like, for example, with this game, where the DLC is well priced. I mean, it's if you buy it on sale, it's even cheaper. But I think the I bought the four-wheel drive, or the I'm sorry, the SUV and pickup DLC for this game. I think I paid $3 for that. I bought um, the trader pack. I think was about $4 for that, maybe $5. I don't know. But it's opened up a world of a whole lot of different types of cars that one will experience of the game. Working on the pickups, working on the Bolt Reptilla. This is a Corvette look-alike. I've not done one of those yet, so that will be something that I will look forward to hopefully buying at auction. It was funny because I said last night in my stream when I ended it, I said I really want to do a Mustang because it sort of will remind me of my high school friend who did a Mustang with his father in the mid 1980s. I did the '64 Chevy pickup with my dad. It was a lot of fun. We swapped stories and everything, and it was funny because we got our cars ready about the same time, about for our senior year of high school, and so we were both driving custom cars that we had bought and restored and put some chrome on and tweaked them and put some nice engines in them and everything. And it was kind of the time frame that kids did that. I don't know if kids do that stuff today, if they have any interest in it today, but that was something that we did back in the 80s, and it was a lot of fun. And so started the stream this morning a little bit after 7. We went to the auction. The very first car that rolled by on the auction was the Ford Mustang, and we bid on it. We bought it. We got it for $20,000, and we made $34,000, or I'm sorry, $37,000 off of it. So, I do that every day and twice on Sunday if you could make that kind of money in that. So, but anyway, I appreciate you guys for sticking around the stream. I know that Car Mechanic Simulator is it's almost a year old, so every time I look on Twitch, I don't see it being streamed very much, so I know that means that there's probably not a lot of interest in it. But hey, if you're interested in this game, I think it's still on sale. I think you can get it for less than $10 bill. That's not bad for a video game, and you can buy some DLC and make it even more interesting. And I think that more DLC is coming out. So what I was going to say about DLC is that while some developers, I think, take advantage of the consumer, like maybe Train Simulator, and of course we have a choice. You don't have to buy everything that they offer. But I think in a game like this, DLC is investing in the future of the game. It's investing in the future of whatever's going to be next, whether it's Car Simulator 2016 or 2017 or whenever, whatever timeline that maybe they're planning on coming out with the next version. You're investing in that and paying $3 for to get access to pickups and SUVs. In my opinion, that's pretty good money. That's pretty good value for money. the trader pack, getting access to some of the classic cars, some of the cars that I worked on in high school in my shop class or helped friends with, like the Corvettes, the Mustangs. I wish the Chevy pickup. I hope that that's something that they will add at an eventual state, because I think it would be cool to relive something here on the computer in a simulated game fashion that I did over 30 over 30 years ago, 32, 33 years ago. That would be pretty cool, I think, personally. So, and it would be something that I would pay, a few more dollars for to have access to. So again, I'm going to shut up, stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I appreciate that. Please follow me so you'll be notified when I'm back on. I only stream simulation-based games, so we do flight sim, we do truck sim, both Euro Truck and American Truck. We do car mechanic simulator, and we farm a little bit as well. So planes, trains, automobiles, and farming too. That's what we do. That's what I do, and it's all I don't ask for donations. I don't have moderators. I don't want subscriptions. I don't want PayPal donations. I do this for fun. I do this to give back a little bit because obviously, I need something to talk about. So I share tips and tricks and stuff. And like I said earlier, if you're going to get into auctions, you want to come over here and you want to max out your repair tools, because if you get the opportunity to repair something or 90% chance of repair, then obviously that's going to save you money on replacement parts, big ticket items like your engine blocks and um, your rear ends, etc. So, any event, um, I do need to unlock some of this other stuff, like this path test. That would be pretty cool, I think, to get that unlocked. I've got the money, I've got the XP to do it. It's just doing it. So, and figuring out how to use it, because again, I did not know about the green acetylene torch until after I did my first auction. And maybe one of these days they'll give us the option to change tires and maybe even balance. I mean, this stuff would be cool, um, and um, and I just think that I don't think there's anything else that I haven't looked at. I don't know what this door does. Does that door do anything? That door doesn't do anything. Maybe future expansion. Um, I wish that this game had a radio system or a radio internet-based radio like American Truck or Euro Truck. The music in this game is pretty lame. It's music that I don't particularly care for. So every garage that I've ever been in, they've got radio playing, whether it be country or rock or classic or whatever, and I think that would be kind of cool. But not a bad game, not a bad game. I enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to say thank you for watching, and I will be probably stream again later this afternoon. Probably do some more car mechanic simulator, to be honest. Again, with American Truck Simulator, I'm hoping that Arizona comes soon, because I've driven on just about every road and highway, and maxed out all of my possible things that I could do in American Truck. So waiting for Arizona to be released. I've done the coast to coast thing once already, and so anyway, thank you all, and we're going to end the stream, and I'll see you all later. Thank you so much.